There's one thing that everybody forgets about when they think about carrying a concealed firearm. We'll talk about that in just a minute. First, let me let you know we have a gun giveaway going on. It's happening right now. It's absolutely free, but it ends really soon. All you need to do is click the link in the description down below to find out which brand new gun you could win. So one of the things I need you to think about as a responsibly armed American, as someone who is carrying a concealed firearm every day for personal protection, is the aftermath of an incident. Now, I've told you before, we talk about this all the time, that you can't guarantee that you will win. You can't guarantee the outcome of a defensive gun use or a deadly force incident. You might not win the fight, and in the event that you don't, you may end up dead or seriously disabled. But even if you do win the fight, many people forget that a defensive gun use doesn't just last 6 seconds. This is going to go on for weeks, months, or years. Stop and think about this for a minute, that even if you do everything right on the day of the incident, you're probably going to spend several hours in jail, or at least on the opposite side, on the receiving end of an interrogation from investigating officers. Then you might still have weeks or months that you have to sit around and worry whether or not the prosecutor is going to file charges against you. All this time, your gun is gone. It's going to be locked up in evidence. You're going to have to figure out how you will protect yourself again. And the stress of a deadly force incident is something that cannot be understated. Very recently, I interviewed a couple who survived an ambush right at the front door of their house. And while they survived, and the outcome of the story is good, bad guy is dead, good guy survived even though he was shot, what struck me most is what was happening to this family, to this couple, months after the incident. The woman, who was not involved in the shooting, she was briefly held hostage and had a gun pointed at her. That woman still has not been able to get back to work. She doesn't like strange people. She doesn't like large crowds. And she's afraid to come out of her bedroom because part of the incident started with her leaving her bedroom. And now she told me that she wakes up every day and she will not leave the bedroom until the sun is up, because the incident happened in the early morning in the dark. And then she slowly opens the bedroom door, checks the entire area that she can see to make sure that nothing is out of place. So if she goes to bed and her partner gets up and moves something in the night, she will wake up and see that and be afraid to go out of her bedroom. That's the kind of impact stress from a deadly force incident can have on people. And understand that you're looking at this that is going to carry over with you for months or maybe even years down the road. I was also really struck by this idea that what happens to everyone else who is involved in the deadly force incident? The folks I spoke to had a dog. The dog attacked the person who had broken into their home and was biting the bad guy on the leg when the homeowner was able to shoot this bad guy and stop the threat. What I noticed when I got there, several months later after the incident, the dog was very leery about any new people. And it took a while for that dog to come around, and we're all with the hands out and let the dog sniff you and make friends and everything like that. And the homeowner said, well, still remember that he's still recovering from this incident just like the rest of us. And I thought about that for a minute. I was like, yeah, okay, he's a dog. Well, a little bit later, I took my phone out of my pocket and the dog immediately attacked me. The dog noticed something in my hand, and I had to defend myself to keep from getting bit by this dog. The dog did not like people to have anything in their hand because the bad guy had a handgun pointing it at the owner. And the dog saw that and reacted, and there was gunfire, and that is imprinted on that dog. Seeing someone with something in their hand just sets them off. So you can't just assume that you have your gun, it's on your hip, you're going to win the gunfight, and then you're going to go about your daily business afterwards. We're talking about, quite literally, a fight for your life. This is a fight for your life. And if you survive, the impact is going to carry with you. All sorts of things are going to change. Not only just the fact that you won a gunfight. People are going to want to talk to you about it and ask you questions, and you might not be ready to hear about that, but you know what? It's still out there. It's in the news. The police have heard about it. Perhaps you saved somebody's life and family members want to talk about it. Or perhaps your family members just want to congratulate you on how great you did. You know what? Maybe it's not time for you to hear that. And if you're not thinking about the aftermath of an event, then you're not fully prepared for what you might have to do as a responsibly armed American, as a person who carries a concealed handgun and is ready to use it in self-defense. You might be a very good shot. You might be able to get out of your holster really fast and put rounds right on target. You might be taking all the training and being able to shoot on the move and all of this other stuff. But when it comes right down to it, when the sounds of the gunfire is echoing away and all that's left is what you can smell, the gun smoke and the noise and all of that stuff still ringing in your ears, that event is not over and it's not going to be over. So you should have a plan in place and you should be thinking about what you want to do and what you will need to do to get back to some semblance of normalcy. Your life is never going to be what it was before that shooting. You have to prepare for that, and you have to understand that all of these things happen differently to everyone who's involved in the incident. And if you're not taking that seriously, you're not fully realizing what it means to be a responsibly armed American. Do you carry with a round in the chamber? Because if you don't, you need to watch this video right next to me, because it's dangerous not to, and I'll explain why. Yes, you should carry with one in the chamber.